Hello everyone, it's Lachlan and Julian here from Whisky Alement to introduce to you our February archive bottling. Now before we dive into this whiskey, which I'm really excited about because I haven't seen this since I started working for you.
Woohoo!
So this is a really cool thing to open up. But I wanted to ask you about your cellaring process that you started back in 2012, 2013.
Most important thing about cellaring is don't do it without a dram in your hand. So
Oh, okay.
let's just sort that out.
Whip that in. Yeah.
Allow me.
I think this is the first...
Listen.
Blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
This is a cool whiskey. Should probably talk quickly about what it is.
Do it.
This is a 14-year-old 84, so 84th distillery, which I'm not at license to say, but we will over the bar. 84.18, Sneezing in the Sun, second fill sauternes hogshead.
Mm-hmm.
There's all that honey and apricot, isn't it?
Sauternes is my kryptonite.
Yeah, you and I both.
It hasn't quite got that, like, sometimes those Sauterne casks can be on the winey side and be a little bit cloying, but this is more refined.
That second fill just allows that, elegance to sneak in where,
I think the Sneezing in the Sun quote or name is really apt, actually, because that's got that sort of, like, pollen-like sort of yellow character about it. It's a little bit sort of spicy.
It does.
Pollen-y sort of nose to it.
Yeah, it's daffodils and bee pollen and, beeswax and
sunflowers,
honeysuckle and...
Cool.
Yeah.
And it still has that sort of orchard fruit vibe of the Sauterne, which is so important.
That apricot just... It's so hard to get rid of that apricot character as soon as you whack something into a sauternes cask.
And a bit of like pear juice as well.
Yeah, pear juice is phenomenal. Like the sparkling, sparkling perry kind of thing.
I find Glendullen can be a little bit peppery sometimes.
Yeah, there is that cracked black pepper thing.
Yeah, but I feel like that little bit of sweetness from the Sauterne has sort of quelled that nicely.
So just made it more
smoothed it over.
integrated, I guess, rather than very obtuse.
And maybe a little bit of cellar time has actually done that for it.
This would have been bottled in 2015, 2016. So
8 years in the archive.
And would have been released on the Australian market probably around 2017, I'd say, off the top of my head.
There you go.
So this would have been actually one of the early bottles we put into the archive. Because the archive probably started in 2017 for us. So
the Scotch Malt Whisky Society archive was started in 17.
Yeah.
In 2017 when we opened up here at Melbourne Whisky Room. And it initially started with a collection that was put forward for us by the cellar master Andrew Durbidge.
Yeah.
So he selected some really awesome things. I think there was a couple of 33s in there. There was also one of my favourites, which was a 59. There was a 29-year-old 59, which was the 30th anniversary bottling, which is still one of my favourite spirits. Favourite distilleries. You and I both share that as well. I've looked back on some of the pictures of that first filling of the cellar and of the archive, and it was quite a lot of gaps.
It's quite sparse comparatively now.
so what we did was every time we got a bottle that we liked, we bought two of them and put one in there, and so it kept on getting filled up. There was also quite a bit of time there around Bar White Oak when we could get extras of some of the Japanese whiskies, and so they've been cellared as well, which is really cool.
Which we opened one last year as well.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
So we've just been adding to it fairly often until it got full, and now we're on to the one in, one out. So every month when Outturn comes out, we bring out a new archive bottle, and whichever is our favourite from the current Outturn, we get another bottle of that and put it in the archive. So eventually the archive will just be full of our favourite bottlings from the last decade, probably, by the time we get into all the way through that.
And what I've been trying to do is pull stuff out that is bottled no less than 5 years prior to what's the time point we're in, right? Mm-hmm. So, like this one here, bottled in 2015, 2016. Mm-hmm. trying to make sure we're actually seeing...
Going back a bit.
Yeah, going back a bit, but also seeing how cask selections have changed, cask availability has changed.
Got to say, this is
spirit character has changed.
This was probably fairly ahead of its time because
would have been,
refill Sauterne cask, you know, there can't have been that many Sauterne casks getting around.
It's relatively common now to see refill Sauternes as well.
Yeah, but this is 6 or 7 years
exactly,
later.
Yeah. It was very ahead of its time. I mean, it's what the society's been pretty good at is...
Yeah, true.
So, when did you start cellaring stuff in general for the bar?
I think we started putting away things probably 2013. No. 2012. Before we opened Whisky Alement, we definitely were cellaring things. We literally just didn't have enough space on the back bar, so stuff was just getting stored in boxes. And at home, I remember my wardrobe being completely full of boxes, and under the bed was full of boxes of whiskey. And so that was where the cellaring started, I suppose. And since then, it's sort of been like, if it's delicious, buy more, buy a case if you can. If you can afford it, and then slowly let it dribble out over time. Because if it's great, then get more.
Is there a specific purpose that you were trying to achieve, or was it mostly just, you know, it's great whiskey, we want to continue to be able to taste it or continue to be able to share it with people over that period of time? Or
I think buying whiskey is a little bit like cherry picking for sometimes. You know, you go for your favourite, you go for the cherry. So if you can grab a bunch of cherries as opposed to one, great idea.
And I've personally found it very enlightening to be able to see how the industry does change over time, because you know, cask availability changes, distillery spirit character changes, also consumer attitudes change over time. So
that is the beauty of it.
Yeah, being able to see how the industry evolves throughout time is really exciting for me as not just a whiskey drinker, but someone who works in the industry. So
yeah, and that's something we've really enjoyed about the cellar, is being able to look back on the way things have developed. So absolutely. Well,
Sláinte Bar, and this will be available on the bar as soon as the Outturn comes out, which I believe is next week for us, but when everyone watches this video, it'll be available on the bar. So come in and see us, and we'll hopefully chat to you soon. Cheers.